Welcome everybody to the weekly WP Roundup with BJ Keeton. That is me. And every Friday afternoon we get together and talk about all of the news, tutorials, resources that were published this week about WordPress. So make sure that you chime in on the comments, say hi, let us know where you're from, and feel free to ask any kind of questions that you have. We really want to get to know you. This is a very interactive show. So make sure that you follow along in the description of this video. If you expand that, we have all of the links that we're going to go through today. So we won't get through all of them in an hour, but you'll have those from this point on to be able to click through and give the content creators some love, because without them, there's no way that we would be able to do this. So I'm going to look at the comments here and see what's going on. Judy Judy said I got a haircut, and I did. It was last week, I think. But says that, oh, this is not your only social life. I see Madalena and Ryland, and YouTube himself is here, or herself. Fantastic. I'm glad to see everybody able to make it out today. This is always fantastic to see you guys. So to start out with, I want to let you guys know and remind you, so that if you didn't notice that it came out, that Elegant Themes, we released a new Divi update this week. This is a really, really awesome one. We've been waiting on this one for quite a while. I know that you guys have been waiting on this for quite a while. This was the brand new columns and column options update, where you can go in and get individual settings for every individual column on your page. You can drag and drop and reorganize them in any way that you want. It is absolutely fantastic. You'll be able to do so many awesome things with this one that you couldn't do before without some CSS. So now you'll be able to go in and individually create and alter and really design exactly like you want. There's going to be some really, really good stuff that you guys are going to be able to do with this, and we are so excited to be able to see what you're going to be able to submit to our community showcases and that kind of stuff. I see people in the comments. I see in the Facebook comments, Bob Cody asked, would you happen to know why Elegant Themes doesn't use Divi to create their site? It seems that Divi doesn't use Divi. The reason for that is that the website was created before Divi was. So all of the systems and backend have been created on, back when Elegant Themes was had sold when the main focus of Elegant Themes was on all of the other themes. And now that Divi is our flagship, it would take a complete overhaul and reprogramming and redesign and redevelopment of all the systems that are already in place. So we're running on those, since those are our legacy systems, and moving forward from there. But that's why it's not on Divi. We actually I had that question came up at a meeting last week, so that we could make sure that we knew what was going on. So thank you for asking that. I know that that's a common question, so I'm glad to know the answer on that one too. The way that it was put was that it would be wasted resources to redesign and redevelop those features for no appreciable increase in power or efficiency for what they did, just to run on Divi. I see Sarawar, I'm going to mispronounce that one. Can you make a sales funnel with a downsell, upsell, thank you page, etc. tutorial? I will certainly make a note of it, and so that we can put that in on our list of ideas. Funnel. I'm very slow at writing. I type most everything, but I will see where that goes into our list. So thank you. So yeah, the columns update, if you haven't updated it, then now is a good time to. We made that release yesterday, and then this, or maybe it was Wednesday. Now my days are mixing up. But we have released or are releasing a bug fix release for that. Nick had mentioned in the comments today, so that should either be out or go out soon. So you guys who are updating or haven't updated yet will be able to experience that, and it's a really good update. I know I've done a lot of strange things with z-axis and negative margins to be able to have columns do exactly what I wanted them to do, and now we don't have to do that. So so it is going to be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so moving on from that, I do hope you guys enjoy that. The next thing that I put under the news is that there is a free event for you guys, and everybody loves free stuff. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the website Post Status, but it's run by Brian Krogsgaard, one of the WordPress community, and they have a publish online conference for the membership site that runs through that, and this year they're going to be streaming that live on July 8th and 9th. They're going to be publishing that online for y'all, so everybody can experience that. It's going to have 14 presentations from community leaders, it says, who are deeply invested in the WordPress ecosystem in one way or another. And you can register for the event to see it and access the live stream at poststatus.com/live. I had a long time ago, I want to say it was 2 years ago, I was able to meet Brian. He was the keynote speaker at a WordCamp that I had been on the committee to organize. And if you go back all the way through the archives to 2017, in I think September of 2017, you will be able to see one of the very first things that this show ever did was interview Brian Krogsgaard. It was fantastic, a fantastic experience, and he really knows his stuff. So when I saw that there was a free conference through Post Status, it's like, you guys need to check this out and register. So it is going to be worth your time for that. I see that there are a lot of comments coming through, so I'll get to those in just 1 second. But I do want to make sure that you guys, like I said, I want to finish up that, make sure you guys are aware of it, and that you can live stream that. The best part about it for me on live stream conferences, I really love live stream conferences like this, or just virtual conferences, so that like during commutes, I can treat them like podcast, so that as I'm driving down the road, I can just listen, because most of the time you may not necessarily need to see the any visual aids or something. So those are very, very nice. I really like the virtual conferences like that. So it's I highly suggest that. I see hi from South Africa. That's awesome. Never's remark, bug fix please, my backgrounds are missing after 3.25.1. Have you updated today with the most recent one? That might be a fix that came in today during the patch that we put in for minor bug fixes. If it doesn't, when you update with today's, contact support with that, because they'll be able to put in the token and see exactly what's going on, because your background should not be missing. So yeah, that if it didn't get fixed with the bug fix patch update today, and you've done that, then that's definitely a support question to put in with them. So hopefully that will. So I really, really hope that one will help you. I see Uncle Social says same thing. Have you told the live chat agents on them on that one? Yeah, that's the best one. Sorry, I got distracted by comments again. That would be the best option for that. They can put a token on your site, remember, and go in and work with you on so that they can go in and work with you on your particular site with your particular issues and setup there. So that one's cool. Okay, I'm gonna try this. You want me to try saying your name? Okay, let me see that. I didn't, because I didn't want to butcher it, but Sabusiso. So that one's gonna be terrible. Sibusiso, I have no idea, but I will try. So, and hi Sven. But the next thing under the news that I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about while I was on virtual conferences, this one was just absolutely too good to pass up. Right now, today, right now, this is my today, like here, well, not here, because I'm in Alabama. WordCamp Europe is going on right now. It is on the 21st and 22nd in Berlin, where you can now watch all of the live streams of those presentations online. So the link that WP Tavern has for you is to watch all of these today and tomorrow. It is well worth your time. I mean, I was just talking about how I like virtual conferences, and WordCamp Europe is going on right now, and it is WordCamps, and these big WordCamps are absolutely fantastic. The panel quality is out of this world. So if you guys want to go stream all of those, it's absolutely amazing. They say on WP Tavern that it's a progressive web app, so that it lets you favorite talks that you want to attend, be able to watch them as they come up, great things like that. It is such a good idea. I've gone back and watched so many WordCamp talks and panels that I've not been able to attend, and just on-demand sessions from other conferences and WordCamps that I couldn't get to, that it is well worth going and checking it out. Most of the time, they end up showing up on WordPress.tv afterward, but there is a delay in doing that, so you'll be able to watch them live as they happen if you weren't able to get over to Berlin to see the event in person. But you still have that opportunity. It goes through tomorrow, so if you can and you want to swing it, you can still get over to Berlin and check out WordCamp Europe. I believe it's tomorrow. No, it is today. Matt Mullenweg, I really did look. I thought today was the 20th all day long until I put dates on this. Matt Mullenweg will be giving an address at 2 p.m. in Berlin on Friday, so that's today. I have no idea what 2 p.m. in Berlin is, so I have no idea when that either was or is, but it is always worth checking out any kind of presentation or address that Matt does, because especially at these big WordCamps, because he's going to outline really the rest of the year and what we can expect as developers and designers and users from WordPress and the community over the next 6 to 8 months. At WordCamp US, it's going to be at the beginning of November, and he'll do the State of the Word then. So we'll have a few months between now and then to see what he's going to outline. It's going to be really cool. I see that Uncle Social says that the Elementor has been posting interesting things on Twitter from WordCamp Europe. That is, I actually need to check that out. I haven't seen that, because I honestly thought that it started today rather than yesterday. But it's that's really cool. I like to see what people are posting about things like that. And I see that Carmen K and Company asked, where can I get a Divi shirt? Those are usually gotten exclusively at Divi meetups. If you find us, Elegant Theme staff, at any of the official meetups we're at, there's a lot of times that we will have Divi shirts to give away there. That's actually where I got this one when I attended WordCamp US in 2017. That was when I got my first one, actually the first session that I got to actually meet my the team here with Nick and everybody in person. But if you want one, the best bet is to find us at an event where we have staff there making an appearance. Sometimes they're at official meetups and things like that. So, or you can come to Alabama and try to steal it from me, but I don't want you to do that. That is always a possibility, but please don't. Like somebody said on my my washing line. I see. Okay, I got distracted again because Ryland says that it is 9:15 in Europa now. So yes, Matt has already done his address so that we can go check that out. Um, but yeah, it's always worth checking out these live streams, you guys. If you've not, click through, just watch some of these virtual conferences. I promise you that there will be something that you get some benefit from. I promise, there's such good things. And then the very last thing on here, actually, before I go get into the last thing about Facebook's cryptocurrency, I did see a comment. Dave asks on YouTube, I'm going to a Divi meetup next Thursday in Hampton, New Hampshire. Will you be there with t-shirts? I don't think so. I don't think that we have sent out any at this point for meetups. I know that is in discussion right now on how we're going to get that kind of swag out to the meetup groups kind of on a large scale. Raquel Landefeld is our new event coordinator, and she is just knocking it out of the park with this. And that's one of the logistical things that she is looking at on getting Divi swag to all of the different meetups. And the Knitting Unicorn asks, oh, there's a meetup in New Hampshire. If you go to meetup.com/DiviNation, you'll be able to see a list of all of the different meetups that we have. I want to say right now we've got about 50 different official meetups. Like, I might be over exaggerating that, but for some reason that's the number in my noggin here. I'm sorry for saying noggin. But that is something that we're working very hard on to make sure that the not live streams. I saw live stream on my dashboard on my computer here. That we're making sure that those meetups get underway and that they're coming as near to everyone as we possibly can. So, if you want to, also let me go ahead and just give a plug to this. If you want to be a leader of a Divi meetup, if you have not, if you don't have one near you, or and you want to get involved that way, and you want to have Divi meetups, contact Raquel. She's going to be able to set you up and talk with you about what is expected of being an official Divi meetup. Like I said, we have a lot coming down the pipeline, and you can contact her through. I know that she's on the Divi Theme Users Facebook page and the Meetup Network on meetup.com. So you'll be able to get her there. So if any of you guys want to do that, we are literally always looking for more people to take over Divi meetups. So usually you say literally, and it's kind of a figurative thing. But no, we are literally always looking. So if y'all have any kind of idea about what you would like to do or find or anything like that in your area, it's a very, very good thing that Raquel is spending a lot of time and energy to make that community as robust as she possibly can. Excuse me. And going to the shirts for one more thing, Dave's crying face made me laugh. If I had to guess, and this is not, I have not heard, I would say that WordCamp US this year in St. Louis would be the best shot at it. But that is not a guarantee, because I'm really hoping to get another couple myself, because I've had this one for a couple of years. And Dave, in case I do come to New Hampshire next week, you'll take an XL. If I was in New Hampshire, I promise you that I would give you the extra large that I'm wearing right now. But I'm 99% certain I will not be in New Hampshire then. But if I could, I would. Make sure there are no comments on Facebook. And then this one was submitted through the hashtag WP Weekly WP Roundup down here in the corner. Facebook has announced a while back that they're going to have a cryptocurrency, and this I put under news because I really wanted to make sure that y'all knew about this one too. They finally announced what it's going to be, how it's going to work a little bit more, where this is actually going to be one of the stable coins. This one is not based on supply and demand like Bitcoin is, that makes its value fluctuate so highly, just so volatile. So this one's going to be backed by fiat currency, and we're going to be really seeing some changes. I'm not 100% sold on this, and in fact, I'm not even 25% sold on this, that this is a good idea, but it might be a way for those of you who are really invested in the Facebook ecosystem already. If you're making money through ads or the marketplaces there, or really however you do your business, this is going to really open up people purchasing through Facebook for you, especially if you're not in the United States, because the article was talking about how in Kenya there is an app that the name of it, I'd had to look it back up in the article, but 90% of Kenyans use this app to distribute money using cryptocurrency. So there is a market for this, but it's Facebook, so we'll see. But they did outline a lot how it's going to work. It's called Libra, and it's going to be part of a consortium called Calibra, and it's a very interesting read. So I want you guys to check that out, and just be aware. It might make some of you a lot of money. It might make some of you very angry. But whichever way it is, I want to make sure that you know that this is coming. You can adjust for it somehow. I see Uncle Social says another article, Facebook co-founder Libra currency could give firms excess power. He thinks it's a real threat to governments around the world and their control of their own economies and currencies. That is literally what I thought reading this article. That even though it's backed by fiat currency, the fact that it is a privately held and generated cryptocurrency on blockchain, that still doesn't sit well with me with it being a privately controlled currency. I would personally be more comfortable making exchanges in World of Warcraft gold than I would Facebook's cryptocurrency right now. And I know that sounds absurd, but I have 15 years of history with that, knowing how that one inflates versus this one, and I know how Facebook reacts to things. So that's just me, but you need to send me that article, Uncle Social, because I want to read that one. And I see Bob Cody asks, are the WordCamp Europe live streams right now? With it being 9:15, they might not be going live at this second, but they will be live tomorrow as they go through the schedule. And I'm clicking through to see right now on the WordCamp Europe website. This is the hard part about being live when something like this comes up, to find out exactly what it is, to answer the question and make sure. Let's see, the schedule should be there. Sessions. That's usually where it is. It's either under the sessions, or I can't find where it is right now on there, and I don't want to take the time away from the stream for the rest of it. But if you go to 2019.europe.wordcamp.org, I will paste that into the chat. You'll be able to navigate around to be able to find those, find the streams. But they will be back tomorrow. It said as the sessions go through. Excuse me. I see the Knitting Unicorn on YouTube asks, is WordCamp US different than the city-specific WordCamps? And the only way that it is different is that it is massively bigger. Being that it is the official countrywide WordCamp, you generally have thousands of people there as opposed to hundreds. There are more concurrent sessions. The exhibitor hall is much larger. Things like that. There are generally more events going on just at any given time around the city that has come in. There is generally an after party. I know a lot of city WordCamps do this too, but like 2017 at the only US I've been to, we got after hours access to a science museum, and it was fantastic because it was like a kids science museum, one of the interactive ones, and we got to climb around, drink wine, and like go through a giant, like crawl through tunnels of a giant human heart, things like that, which generally don't happen at the city level unless your organizers are just amazing at putting things together, like the US ones are. But it's big. Like the number one thing where it differs is that it is just ginormous that I've never been to a conference that large, and there were so many people there, but it was magnificent. Generally, it's the one that has most of the big name companies there with reps, a lot of the developers and kind of community members that by name are generally going to show up at US unless they're one of the people who travels around. There are a lot of people who travel around to major WordCamps like Orlando and Phoenix and Orange County and, all Denver and Portland. I mean, there's so many, but US is basically all of those shoved together in one place where everybody just loves each other and has fun. So, and Raquel, our event coordinator, is on the organizing committee for that. So and she was a couple of years ago too, in the one where we went to the science museum. So I'm excited to see what they put together and what she's got. So you guys can also look forward to that in your when I say that she's awesome at putting things together, like the meetup groups. Now I have experience on that, but hopefully that answers. I see Ariana asks on Facebook, what's my height and age? I'm 6 feet tall and 36 years old. So, and Yaroslav asks, what's wrong with WordPress? I can't save anything. When I've had that happen, it's an HTTP error where where my login has expired, where I will copy and paste whatever I'm working on, hold Control or Command Shift R, refresh everything, relog in, and everything tends to be fine after that. That has happened every time I couldn't save anything. So if it's something different than that, that would be a Stack Overflow or Elegant Themes Live support question. But I have to ask Ariana, I have to know why you wanted to know how old and how tall I am. Is this a weird identity theft thing? No, I don't think it really is. But yeah, so that was the news. That was going through the column options for Divi. Remember, those of you who have not updated yet, make sure that you update Divi so that you can get our new column options. They're just fantastic. There is a free live stream of WordCamp Europe as it goes through, and that will eventually be on WordPress.tv, and then there is a free virtual conference for post statuses published online July 8th and 9th, and we talked about the Facebook's upcoming cryptocurrency Libra and how disconcerting that could possibly be for all of us. So I want to move into the tutorials and look at the first article under here that Torque Mag had posted. It's one of the things that I know almost every one of you has been asked to do. Tom Rankin is just a wonderful writer, and he put this together on how to write a client's website content for non-content creators. And this is something that, like I said, almost every one of you has probably been asked to do at some point. And some of you are not writers, are not content creators, that's not what you specialize in, and that it may not be what comes easily to you. Like, like asking me to design a full page, like Donietta or Jason, is impossible. Like asking a non-writer to write is the same thing. So, what this article is going into is the main reason that they're going to ask you to do this is because of money. They may try to include this in your contract, or so that they don't have to hire somebody else out to hire a copywriter or anything like that. They might also not know that writing is a skill. And this is something that I want every last person watching this to be aware of, that if you are starting out, that if you are looking to be a professional writer with a developer like this or anything else, like Tom is talking about on here, where you're a designer and developer who then has to write content, whatever that is, your ability to write, to code a website, to do all of this is a skill, and you should be paid for it. A lot of people will try to get you to do that because they could do it themselves, but they just don't want to. They don't have time. Blah blah blah. That's not true. Not everybody can. Everybody can do it, but not everybody can do it well, which is why y'all make the big bucks with design and development to begin with. And the main thing that he's talking about for non-content creators is that before you start, you're going to want to plan out every bit of content on that page. That you need to know exactly, or as close to exactly, what they want out of you and what they want on their site. The more details you can get early on, the better, because that's going to actually let you plan the design around some of that content. I know that I've had to go back in and redesign websites for clients because their content ended up being 5 times as long as I expected it to be. So I then had to go back and re-add a bunch of columns and modules and just really rearrange stuff, which, looking back now, I really wish I'd had that Divi columns update then, because that actually would have made my life easier. But those kind of things happen, and you need to make sure what that content is before you go in. He goes through the 6 common elements of website content, where you have the hero text. Like, you look at the hero section, and this is where you have the call to action. This is where you have the what you do, who you do it for, and why you do it. This is the grab them and let them know exactly who you are before they bounce away. Then you have the main call to action, where it tells them what to do next on the site. And CTAs are hard to get right, and this is where the marketing really comes in, because as a straight up content creator, I don't know the best way to psychologically attract people to a call to action button as well as a marketer or a designer does. And so working together, that's how it can be. The about page is one of the big ones that you're going to have to write. These days, you want probably to tell it more like a story than have it as resume bullets. I just finished an article yesterday on the idea of storytelling in marketing, and how millennials and Generation Z are looking at having a human, personal story and narrative attached to things, and that makes them invest even over the competitors. So if you're writing an about page, try not to just stick to bullet points. Try to actually tell that story. Testimonials, again, writing testimonials for social proof, writing the contact page information, writing the copy on the contact page. You might not think about it, but it is very important to have good contact page copy on there, because they will look at that page. Your user, whoever you're trying to collect as a lead or a customer, they will look at your contact page, and if they don't know the exact ways that you want to be contacted and the best way for them to contact you, they will probably bounce. If it is not abundantly clear, I respond to emails, or I have a live chat. I have Facebook Messenger hooked into this. You can send me a message right here. Whatever that is, you can do that on the contact page, and that will get your users to really interact a lot more, and that's just good copy. And then you have the privacy policy, which there are privacy policy generators out there. I believe that Jetpack generates one for you now that you can fix, that you can customize to your own liking and do really however you want. So, but if you're a which is great, especially for non-content creators. A content creator might have a different idea of what needs to be in a privacy policy than a non-content creator, so having that boilerplate is fantastic. I see on Facebook that Bob asks, so I'll get to that in 1 second, so I have some comments to get to, but if you're not a content creator, absolutely click through on that one, because you're going to have to do that at some point. I see Bob asks, in Divi, how come the add module circle usually hides behind the add row setting, making it unselectable? Why does that happen? I usually have to go into wireframe mode to fix it. That is a good question. I don't know why it does that, but I go into wireframe to fix it myself. Or what I've actually done is, if you open the ellipsis in the purple menu so it expands everything out, go to the far left, and on the vertical menu that you can expand, there is a click instead of hover option, so that when you click on a module, that it sticks just the options for that one instead of having to hover over two at the same time. And that's how I've been working for a long time. That was put in, as well as one called a grid mode that just highlights all of them at once, as though they're all being highlighted, all being clicked on or hovered over at one time, and you can see them all like that. For me, like I said, I found the click works the best, because I can click into it and then there's the add module button without having to worry about the hover. Or the sometimes when I'm doing a lot with them, I just open up grid and work on that. It works the same way as the wireframe, but it is less distracting. I don't even want to say distracting. There's less friction there, because it doesn't bring something up to wipe across your screen. It just pops it up, the options that you need. I really like doing that. Because the hover mode does hide them occasionally. So that's what I do to get rid of them. And also, once you've activated the click and grid modes as well, they show up in your shortcuts down at the bottom, so you don't have to expand the vertical menu anymore. You can just click in and it will be on the on your kind of taskbar down there. It's incredible. It's incredibly helpful for me to do. Hopefully that will help you a little bit, Bob. I really do hope, because that's what it does for me. Other than that, it's the hover thing. I think that's just the way that the on hover JavaScript works. I'm not sure about that. I see. Okay, so I see that there's a lot of comments on YouTube as well, going back to the article on content creation. Judy says that there's a compromise. Sometimes clients can write for brochures but have no idea how things work on the web, which is absolutely true. I just want to tweak it for layout and SEO purposes, but I always prefer them to supply the framework. That's a really good idea. Getting a brochure from them that, even if it's not a digital one, to say, hey, this is the voice that I need to be in, this is copy I can edit, and let them know that that's what you're doing. That's a really good idea. If they, I hadn't thought about taking their brochures, but you're right, because I have a hard time with brochures, that I'm too verbose. If you couldn't tell, I like to talk. I write too much in one space, that I'm not good at brochures, where on the web I can do a lot better, because of just the difference in viewport and all of that. I've never been able to put together a good brochure. That was one of my first tasks whenever I got my job as a professor, whenever I was teaching, and that when I was working at the Learning Center, that my boss gave me, was to design a brochure for our Learning Center. And no, just no. But you're absolutely right. They're two completely different skills. Uncle Social says, me too. No one knows the client's product service as well as the client does. I just want to tweak it for a layout and SEO purposes, but I always prefer them to supply the framework. I'll sometimes ask them to contribute. Judy says I'll sometimes ask them to contribute, and I will edit it for the site. Always teaching. Some content from the client. Cibusio. I'm gonna Cibusio. Some content from the client can be overwhelming, and that is absolutely 100% true. Once it's left their hands, it's yours to mess with, Judy says. Oh, the incredible power, but let's push back on them if they understand how people read content online. BJ, you go and be verbose. Just let a good editor pare it down for you. Nathan B. Weller, our content manager, absolutely has his hands full when editing my copy. I've gotten a lot better about that. I feel bad for him when I first started hiring. When he first hired me on, my edits have significantly improved over the last couple of years, thanks to him and his notes. We have a very good editor at ET. I am so happy to be able to work under him. So if you can get a good editor, you stick there. You learn so much if y'all can ever find a good editor for you content creators out there. And I see Bob says, that was a great tip. Thanks. You're quite welcome. I wonder why Divi releases so many features but doesn't work and focus on making the essential ones work correctly out of the box. I'm even trying to think how to even word this, because I don't think it's not that they don't work right out of the box. And I think that because we at Elegant Themes, we are Divi users. I mean, this is what like all of us that I know of use to make our sites and other people's sites that we work on. And I know that one of the things, like with the hover stuff going on this, that there may not be an elegant solution to the hover issue because of the way that the React renders the z-axis on those particular elements that are overlapping. So the solution there, rather than reinvent the wheel, is to incorporate a solution like the grid mode or the click mode that gives you the functionality that you need, that has as little friction as possible in it. And that's in my research on user experience, that kind of thing is a lot of times the best option, because it avoids that kind of tech debt where you have to go back into something to completely refactor it when it works, say 90% of the time. But you can add quality of life for people and give a better workflow for people who use it. Like for me, using the grid mode and the click mode almost exclusively made my workflow a lot better than hover mode, because I'm not accurate with my mouse. That's why I'm bad at PC gaming a lot like that, like shooters. I'm not good at them. But yeah, I understand that frustration. But I do think that's why those options exist, to add on and just immediately kind of replace and expand on the other features. And yes, I will just call you Victor from now on. Thank you. I feel terrible. When I was teaching, I had a lot of international students, and I always did my very best to pronounce their names correctly. And it is not something that I'm terribly good at, but I will always want to try. And to this day, I cannot pronounce Donyetta's name correctly. Like, I just can't do it. It is, when we were on our retreat last year, met in person, everything, cannot do it. I tried for a week trying to pronounce it correctly. Can't. So thank you, Victor. I really appreciate that. Ratfinder asks, hi BJ, how can we speed up page load time? The number one thing is always going to be image optimization. The by far the number one, well, let me pause for a second. The number one thing that you can fix is going to be image optimization. That if you run your site through GT metrics or Pingdom or something like that, then you're going to see a list of whatever issues. You'll get like a list this long sometimes of issues that are slowing down your site. A lot of those tend to be image sizes where the file sizes are too big, or the file sizes are pulling and then being shrunk down in real time. So if you can work with your image to optimize the images, to optimize them, where you're putting the right size in there instead of doing a resize with CSS, that's going to help a lot. If you're using Smush, Imagify, TinyPing, something like that to compress the images is always going to help. Make sure that you have Divi updated, because last week we published an update that actually was based entirely around speed, so that most people's Divi sites should have sped up about 40 to 50%, I would say. That it could cut seconds off of your time just by making that Divi update. There were a lot of efficiency bugs that were fixed, so that is the one of the best things you can do. Then the one that is only kind of in your control is hosting. There is always going to be a difference in page load time for the exact same page on one host to another. If you run it on GoDaddy, SiteGround, Bluehost, Flywheel, at the excuse me, the exact same page, they will have different page load speeds. And that will be the best thing that you can do, is find out what host either you or your client is on. And if that is not one of the fastest that you can get, if page speed is really the issue here for you, you may look into finding a different host. I know that SiteGround runs very quickly. WP Engine is super fast. Flywheel, Kinsta runs incredibly fast. But these managed WordPress hosts tend to do really quickly. If you're on HostGator, I was on HostGator for a very long time. HostGator is not the fastest one that you're going to get. I think that if you end up looking at the data, that you're going to get page improvement speed by going to one of the more optimized hosts. I like HostGator. Like I said, I was with them for years, but I ended up moving to SiteGround specifically for this reason, that my site started loading very slowly, and I ended up moving away. That's not to say that you can't get them running quickly on there, because their architecture is just fine and they work really well, but that is one of them that I've heard people in the past, and I've experienced it with, have issues with. I really like SiteGround. Nick said in the comments of that article that in their testing with the Divi performance update, that SiteGround was the fastest one of them, but they run it through a lot of them, and there were a lot that were still very, very fast and comparable. So I would check out one of those. That's the one thing that you can't do anything about. That is just a migrating your site to a different host kind of fix. You can also make sure that on HostGator that you have your PHP version updated. Make sure that it is updated to at least 7.2. Well, at least 7.0. If you can get it to 7.2 or 7.3, that would be great. That will offer a lot of PHP enhancements that can improve performance as well. But again, that's on the hosting side. That's contacting your host and being like, hey, I need you to update my PHP for this. So you need to make a backup of your site beforehand on any of that. So I really hope that that would help a little bit. But images are the biggest part. Update Divi if you don't have it updated already, because you'll get the performance increase, the performance update, and that should help a lot. That I know for a lot of people on here, it did. I know a lot of people were talking about it, and here's one thing about the performance update, performance update. Yes, I can't. I think I needed to have another update in there. It if it doesn't speed up your site itself on page load, there's a really good chance it will speed up your admin dashboard and interaction with the page and the Divi builder and stuff like that, because it's become more responsive for me since then. Using it since that update has made it so that clicking around doing things, I don't get the any kind of browser lag or anything like that, even with a number of browser tabs open. So that one is that's my suggestion. I see Bob on Facebook says, what do I think of cart flow? What do you think of cart flows? And is Divi considering contributing templates to this awesome funnel builder? I don't think we are, because I've never heard of it, and that wasn't brought up in our last company-wide meeting. If it's in the planning, I don't think it is. I don't know what cart flows is, but that's something that I'm opening up a tab right now to see, because I want to stay in the know on stuff like that, because I know that Mac, I Google cart flows just to keep it up in a tab, by the way, and I see that Mac's YouTube channel from February of this year, he has sales funnels using cart flows video. It is the first 2 videos on for cart flow or for from Mac on YouTube. So I'm going to say that Mac knows how to use those and approves. So like you said, they're so far that, but I don't know about the funnel builder. I see that Andrew asks on YouTube, Facebook, not YouTube, on Facebook, why is Elementor pulling so far ahead in terms of features and listening to the community? I don't think that they are pulling ahead as far as people think that they are, and I've heard that said a lot, and I don't think that is true, and I don't think that they're listening to the community more personally. We have the theme builder update coming out soon. It's in the final stages of QA. It's one of those things that if we release it too soon, it breaks sites. But it and the global defaults are just right neck and neck for the next 2 releases, and those are the 2 that I know of. And as far as I know, like, we're working on as hard as we can on getting the new features and new community and what things that the community wants. One of the hard things that we have with Divi is that we're updating a legacy code base in some ways, that it has a lot more overhead than other themes and plugins. So we have to make sure that we put out a product that doesn't break a site built in Divi 2.4 when we release Divi 4.0. So with that, we're having to really be careful not to really just kick old people, not old people, but kick customers who have been with us for a long time and have those sites and built with the older builders. We don't want to break those. Additionally, that we're moving forward, so hopefully this kind of conversation won't happen nearly as often, because we've moved into the new Divi Builder experience, which means that you have the same features in the front end and the back end of your site. So the reason before that some of the updates were coming a little slower is that they were being developed on 2 different code bases. One was written in React and one was written in Backbone, and so now we've consolidated that into supporting one single code base, so that's making that a lot easier, which is what's making Divi 4.0 when it comes out with a theme builder much easier. And at that point, I think we're going to be in a very, very good place to have far quicker iteration and bug fixes and that kind of thing. I know that is a concern among the community, and that we are listening. That is one thing. I don't want you guys to think that we're not. All sorts of stuff is being said and noted and annotated in the I don't even know what to call it. In our workflows is probably the best way to put it. Trello, Asana, all of that stuff that everyone's using for project management. I see Eric Hill. I missed a couple, but hi everybody who said hello. My main menu doesn't show up on my blog articles once they're clicked. Any idea why this occurs? I have another on I have another blog on another site where this doesn't happen. I use Divi on both. When I've had that happen in the past, it's under the theme customizer, and I've had something strange ticked in the either the header or fixed menu, the fixed menu options, and that's how I've removed it in the past. If you don't find anything in the theme customizer to fix it, contact support, because that's not supposed to be happening. The one other thing that I've done in the past that was a goof on me, I had a display none in the wrong place, and I told my menu not to show up. Do you know how long it took me to figure out that I had a misplaced display none for my my header menu? But that's neither here nor there. I don't think that you may have done that, but if it's not in the theme customizer, it's definitely something to contact support about, because that should not be happening, and they can look into that with the secure token system. Bob asks on Facebook, will Divi 4.0 be sold as a separate product? No. Will we need to purchase a new license, or will Divi 3.0 users be automatically updated for free? It is a product that comes with your membership. We don't actually sell, and this is one thing that I think is great about us. We don't actually sell a product. We sell the membership to that, which is why I love the lifetime membership thing that we do, because no matter what, it means that even if we decide one day to burn Divi to the ground, which is not going to happen, but let's say that we move into a different flagship, you're going to get whatever the next one is, because it's a membership to our software rather than the next product or something like that. So no, everybody who has Divi is absolutely going to get the Theme Builder 4.0 update. So don't worry about that at all. Y'all are safe and sound in that regard. So we'll, and I know that they're planning the release right now. Everything is in those final planning stages of that release, and I think y'all are gonna be super excited, because the 4.0 is going to be the builder. So that's gonna get custom headers and footers and everything that y'all are wanting. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm out of time, and I want to tell you guys thank you. Thank you for being so interactive and asking so many questions and talking, because it is, even though I didn't get through all of the links, I feel that interaction with the community is by far the best way to spend the time on this, because I love it, and I think that it is incredibly helpful, and that's the point of this show, is getting articles for you to help you guys. That's really the main thing, and I'm really excited whenever there's something I can hopefully help with. A lot of times there may not be, because I can't see your site and fix it, and have to send you to support, but it's sometimes there is a fix that I know of. But like I said, I'm out of time on this right now, so I'm going to have to let you go until next Friday. Like Uncle Social said in the YouTube comments, make sure that you smash the thumbs up button. Make sure that you subscribe, and that you ring the bell and tell Facebook that you want to get notifications when we go live. Just subscribing and following the page don't get you notifications when we go live. You have to do that separately. So if you want to know when I go live, when Matt goes live, or when Jason or Donietta goes live, you will need to just let them know, because on Mondays after a new feature, Matt gets on at 6 a.m. Eastern time and goes through the new feature. So this Monday he will be going through the new column update that we published. On Tuesday, Donietta or Jason do use cases with Divi, so that you guys can know how to use Divi, and kind of show you just particular use cases of how the software can be used. And on Friday, I do this. So I go through the news, tutorials, and resources, and answer questions that you guys can bring in. So remember to submit any kind of articles or questions that you've got with the hashtag Weekly WP Roundup. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and fantastic week until I see you again. And I see one question before I go. I see Bob called me awesome, so you're awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Jingo Yan. Jingu Yan. I'm gonna mess that up. I apologize. And Victor, Can anyone help me? What lifetime bulk SMS plugins work perfect with the Divi builder? The project is for a school. We don't have an SMS plugin or module, and I honestly don't know of any off the top of my head. But that is an idea that I am writing down in my I don't know if we have an article on that in the Elegant Themes archive, but if we don't, I'm throwing that in my ideas folder on or card on Asana so that I can look into that. So if I don't know what it is right now, like I don't, hopefully I will soon. So I will see you guys next Friday. Bye, everybody.